Well, I think it's already here, but we're going to see more and more superstars coming to our local shores. Why? Because e-gaming is exploding. If you haven't caught the news as yet, it's big, and it's big business to boot. So we've invited our gaming aficionado, Gareth Woods, into studio. We hinted at this last week when we were talking about kind of the big trends in gaming this year, and that was something you said we need to hone in on. E-gaming is massive. The prize money is incredible. Just put it into perspective for us. How big is e-gaming at the moment from a South African perspective?
I'm going to correct you, the term is eSports.
eSports, my bad, yeah.
And it's just, the reason we use sports is because of how legitimate it's becoming as a competitive,
I like that,
competitive outlet. So competitive gaming has now become literally that, a sport. You've got professional casting organizations, TV, crowds of 45,000 for stadiums being filled out. And I think it's huge overseas. It's getting bigger here, and it's coming. I get to talk every so often about esports. It's a massive passion of mine, but I feel like I'm just scratching the surface, trying to show people in South Africa just how big esports is overseas.
And I think it gives competitors a place in the world. I think that's the awesome thing, is that it doesn't just tap into the entertainment value of games, but it's kind of providing a platform for competitors to achieve incredible things. Where does South Africa sit in the global scheme of things? Do we have those superstars that are performing on the international stage?
What's interesting you asked that is we've recently had a couple of teams who've had the opportunity to go play overseas. In fact, Bravado Gaming, which is one of the biggest gaming organizations in the country, they sent teams to Los Angeles, and then they had to make a round trip and go straight to China right afterwards for 2 big tournaments, over $1 million kind of prize pool, playing against the best in the world.
What games are traditionally played in this esports arena? Okay,
so obviously there are millions of different types of games depending on what you're into, but there have been a few that have kind of risen above to become
kind of lend themselves to
esports. Generally, it's your team-based sports. People tend to prefer watching teams compete rather than individuals. So it's your games like Dota 2, Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, FIFA tend to be kind of your biggest esports. Certainly in this country, the biggest two being Dota and Counter-Strike.
Just looking at this picture, my delusions of grandeur have just kicked in. But I'm guessing for someone like me, I would be left in the dust when playing at the level that these guys are. I mean, that hand-eye coordination is insane. How do we enter into the world of esports? Are there entry-level tournaments?
So what's great is, obviously, as esports starts, it's only the best of the best. There's only competitions for the top echelons of gamers. But what's happening now there's more leagues for plebs like myself. You know, the kind of...
And you're being modest, right?
If you think of like how big rugby is or soccer in this country, you've got your Sunday leagues, you've got your social leagues, guys have one practice a week, play on a Sunday afternoon. And there's space for everyone. And so you've got leagues like the Telkom Digital Gaming League, you've got Gaming Battlegrounds, you've got all these online leagues that allow you to play at your skill level, matched against opponents of your skill level. And if you're better than them, you go up to the next level and kind of slowly start grinding your way until you perhaps join a professional team like Bravado and then have the opportunity to go overseas.
Well, we thought we'd give you just a little taste, and you've been singing the praises of the young man that we're about to profile right now. We thought we'd take you inside the life of an esports aficionado like our Gareth here, someone who is getting those titles, someone who is performing on that stage, and it is so competitive. Let's meet the gents.
Playing video games professionally might be considered a nightmare for some parents, but 21-year-old Donnie Texera from Cape Town is living his dream as a pro gamer.
I knew I wanted to be a pro gamer when I was playing in the internet cafe in grade 4 in a primary school, at my primary school, and then I beat some grade 7s or grade 6s at Dota, and then I just knew like the competitive aspect of it is what I wanted to do, you know, and seeing them so mad is what made me, you know, it made me really love the game. And I realized I was actually kind of good at it, and people started asking me to join their team, and then I started winning tournaments, and then, then I ended up here years later. I played lots of other games like Counter-Strike and Call of Duty. Dota just appealed to me more because there was more room to outplay your opponents compared to other games. And those games also had the competitive aspect I liked about Dota, but I felt like Dota had a much higher skill ceiling. There's more of a personal thing when you beat someone. It's like the sense of achievement. You know, you spent 40 minutes outplaying someone and you finally win. It's, feels good.
Donnie's Dota 2 squad, Bravado Gaming, recently attended the WESG Global Finals in Shangzhou, China, where they faced off against the top Dota teams in the world.
The biggest thing I learned over there is how much room I still have to grow as a player. I thought I was ready once I went over there, but playing against those people, they are much higher rated than I am. And it was just a learning experience for me. I think esports in South Africa has come quite far in the past 5 years. from being a very top-heavy prize pool tournaments where maybe first place, second place only get prizes, to now at the recent Masters, I think top 8 got prizes or something like that. So it gives a lot of incentive for people to actually, let's maybe get top 8 at a tournament instead of just thinking, okay, we're not going to get top 3, let's not practice. And I think it'll create more of a competitive environment. The biggest challenge, I would say, is losing, getting over losing. You sit there and you think, okay, I put in all these hours and I still get beaten. It's a lot. It's like very humbling at the time, and you either go into a pit of despair, or you just got to get over it and realize you have to improve more and more and more. My biggest advice for someone getting into esports would be, don't expect to be there to be handouts. It's a lot of hard work to get to the top. You have to play a lot. There's not going to be someone there to babysit you the whole way. And if you really want to be the best at something, you got to put in the effort. And yeah, you just got to put in the effort, be determined, and don't expect someone to just, give it to you.
Esports is a growing force in South Africa, and if you have the dedication, skill and passion, then maybe the life of a pro gamer is for you.